Did the gentleman finish?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sorry?
I'm finished.
Okay.
Sorry for imposing myself.
No.
I think I
The
don't
question
like
is-
that sort of thing where people,
Sorry?
To me, I don't like that scenario where you're having a conversation, someone's got the point in, and then it's like, no, you're not allowed to. I think that's horrible.
It is
To me,
horrible,
speaking-
but it is.
Speaker's Corner is about, it doesn't have to be one-to-one, it's everybody's we're discussing together. So like I say, I feel I was a bit mistaken because my friend gave me the impression.
Did the gentleman make his point?
Yeah, that was really helpful.
Did anyone stop him?
You tried to stop me.
Did I try to stop him?
Yeah. You tried to make it seem as though this was an exclusive, that you're in charge of who joins the conversation.
He wanted to make the point to me. Listen, he wanted to make the point to me. He didn't want to make the point to you.
Sorry?
The point he wanted to make was not to you. He wanted to direct his point to me.
Because he knew I didn't
Excuse
have
me.
the answer.
Right.
He had an answer that was helpful to the conversation.
That's why I say you're desperate. You're desperate for help. He didn't want to make the point to you. He wanted. You're desperate for help because you're in a very weak position. The question is he didn't want to make any point to you. He wanted to make the point to me. And if he wants to make a point to me, then I have the opportunity to ask him, do you understand exactly the foundation of the conversation? I allow the gentleman to speak.
Maybe, but I'm quite controlling.
Sorry?
What started as just a conversation.
Shalom, Manishma.
Sorry?
Started as a simple conversation. It's just you're really hostile.
What do you mean hostile? What have I done to you?
This is why can't we just have a conversation?
We are having a conversation. When you said to me,
Would you converse with your friend in the way you're conversing with
you are my friend.
I don't feel like...
It's a starting of a friendship.
This is not how I start my friendships.
All right, then you start your conversation. I'll listen to what you have to say.
Well, we started a conversation. We did start
Would you like to have
conversation.
both?
No, thank you, I've got my own. I'm not condoning what you're trying to do, and I don't know what your agenda is. We started by having a conversation about how do we ultimately ever get to the bottom of it, which is a philosophical point, because that's what my friend and I were talking about.
Your friend?
My friend over there, the lady that was with
Oh,
us.
okay, yes.
So, and then all of a sudden you're trying to make, I get the sense that I've somehow got to stand here and make the case for Israel or something. And I don't understand where all that's coming from.
No, the only objection I had is that you were saying I didn't want him to speak. That's not
prior
true.
to that, your aggression didn't just start there. I'm talking about you're hectoring me, and that's not conversation.
Okay.
Regarding group, I do feel like if someone wants to contribute to a group, that's absolutely fine. That's the secondary thing. You're hectoring me about 2 minutes into the conversation. You're hectoring me. I'm not killing people in Gaza. You know.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Okay. Do you support Zionism?
Do I think Israel has a right to exist?
No, that's not the question I asked you.
Well, what do you mean by Zionism?
I'm asking you, very crystal clear. You're very intelligent and up to speed with current day issues. Do you support Zionism?
What do you mean by Zionism? Zionism, for some interpretations, means the right of Israel to exist. That's what literally, when you're a Zionist, there is like the idea of Zionists at the top, like the cabal that are running the world, but also someone who believes Israel has a right to exist can call themselves a Zionist. Right. So what do you mean?
Well, let me tell you where I stand.
Israel has a right to exist?
I know you were coming with that, so I was about to give you the answer. I believe every human being that is breathing have a right to exist. A criminal, can I finish? A criminal has a right to exist. He has a right to a judicial process and procedures. He has a right to food. He shouldn't be tortured. Every human being that is breathing have a right to exist. Now, we're not talking about the right to exist, but I understand how loaded that question is. Whenever people ask, do you believe Israel have a right to exist? That's a loaded question. And I know what it means. It's loaded because they put you in a position that they think you may either say yes or no. Your yes becomes illegal, because it's illegal to say that. You put yourself under the security radar, and whenever you say yes, you give Israel the legitimacy to exist and do whatever they like. Now,
As you say, it's illegal.
now,
It's illegal. Hang on, you're saying it's illegal to say that you don't want it to exist?
that's illegal. That's illegal. Yes, it's illegal to say that. Yes.
Illegal.
You don't know what?
Is it illegal?
Let me ask you a
It's
question.
illegal in this country to say that Israel doesn't have a right
okay.
to exist. Because all these people must be breaking the law then.
Well, I would not say the people here is breaking the law, because here has special laws that protect people to say things. Generally, if a person is working for the council or you have a government job and you say publicly Israel does not have a right to exist, you will be released from your job. Number two, you will. Can I? Do you mind if I finish?
I don't mind, but I disagree.
If you disagree, that's fine. I understand you disagree, and I know you would disagree before I say it. But can I finish?
Jeremy Corbyn,
but do you mind if I finish?
Jeremy Corbyn, for instance, would say...
You don't care for me to finish, are you?
Even though you know... Go on, carry on.
Yes. So the question you're asking me about Israel having a right to exist, I fully understand that being a loaded question. My answer to you is this. Every human being has a right to exist. The babies who are killed right now in Gaza, they have a right to exist. Everybody, a criminal has a right to go to court. And he has a right when he goes to prison to be fed. And when he's in police custody, given all the rights he has. Everybody have a right to exist. But that's not the point. That question is loaded in order to put a position in a person in a compromising position. That's what that question is meant to. Now let me spin the. Let me spin.
Hang on, you're saying that I posed the question, so you're saying I posed the question that was loaded. Yeah, that was not my intention. I'm genuinely, innocently asking you. Do you feel, from what you're saying, it sounds like you don't feel that the state of Israel does have a right to exist?
No, I never said that. No. You would like me to say that.
No, I don't care what you say. I
No,
don't
you
care.
would want me to say that.
I'm trying to get the fucking answer out.
You want me to say that?
I don't want you to. I'm not
Does Israel have a right to
I'm
exist?
not making this. I
If she
don't
asks me the
care.
question, the same question she was asking my sister. If you
Everybody,
ask-
not just Jews.
If you
No,
ask me
everybody.
If you ask me that question,
Everybody have a right
I'll
to
say
exist.
no. Maybe
Everybody have a right to exist. But the loaded question is that puts you under the security radar, and if you're working in a public servant, you'll be sacked.
through the Zionism. Okay.
That's the implication.
Him maybe
Yeah.
says yes.
But it's
No.
not loaded, is it? It's just a simple question.
It's not a simple question.
People who ask that question, the majority of them use it in a loaded way. You may be an exception.
You don't think this guy loads his questions?
Sorry? Sorry?
I said, do you load your questions? You've got an agenda. Like I say, you've been hectoring me 5 minutes into this conversation. You don't even know where I stand on this, but you're having a go at me. The idea was we were going to have a polite conversation, but you literally said, you know, I like polite. Let's
Are
have a nice
you unhappy with
and
having a
then
conversation with me?
The way you converse, I don't
Are you unhappy with the way I'm having a conversation?
Yes.
Do you want to have a conversation with the rest of the gentlemen?
Yes.
Right. I'm quite happy to sit down.
Or South African in apartheid South Africa. If somebody
I'm not
asked
good with that.
It's all right.
If somebody asked you,
All right.
if somebody asked you, do South African, but
keep it that.
the white side,
Is this your camera?
Sorry?
Is this your camera?
None of these cameras belong to me.
the white South Africans in the 90s when the apartheid was still going on. If a white man came to you and said, do the white South Africans in South Africa have a right to exist? Is that not loaded?
Well, not the people. We're not talking about the people. We're talking about the state. Should it be run by white people? No.
The South African white government at the time, do they have a right to exist?
Should it have been a white state? Is that what you're saying?
Did they have a right to
It's a
exist?
different. We're not talking about the people. We're talking about the state. So does white South Africa have a right to exist?
Did the state at that time have a right to exist? The apartheid.
That's a hard one because
if you say
a hard one.
Because if you say no,
She understands what he has to know.
I do understand the
She understands the consequence of yes.
because if you say no, you're
She knows
racist.
that.
You're racist against white people.
No, it's not racist. It's beyond that.
No,
It's beyond that.
The point
It's
that you're
supporting
making
terrorism.
is a good one.
It is supporting. It's not racism. Apartheid has very little to do with race. Apartheid has to do with disempowerment of specific group of people. Now, it's the reason why she's reluctant to answer the question. She knows the consequences of the question. That the yes will apply the same to Israel. That's why she's reluctant. But anybody who is objectively involved in justice will know. Everybody, the world, America, England, the whole world understand apartheid was evil. And apartheid was wrong, and it should not have done all the things, and it should not have get away with all the things it got away with. But you're reluctant to say that. Do you know why you're reluctant?
Right, so can I go back to talking to
sure,
this
no, yeah,
gentleman?
of course.
Right, so I think that's a really good question because literally the Dutch took over Africa And yet it doesn't take much to see that the way they treated the second-class citizens. So did they legally have a right to be in that place? They took it over, they won it in war, but because of the way they acted, most people would not have any problem saying they shouldn't have been there. So, and were there other examples like, are there any other examples where people have taken over and then people have, I guess...
Why they didn't have two states
What,
in South Africa?
Yeah.
Why didn't have two states? Why in Palestine, what we call Israel, and it's two states?
They didn't have democracy, did they?
Where?
In South Africa.
They had a democracy, they had elections.
They didn't have free elections. Black people couldn't
Didn't have
vote.
free elections, they had democracy, they had elections,
They did.
and
Well,
all the
that's-
global powers of the world
Israel,
were embedded with South Africa at that time.
In Israel, they do have elections, and about 25% of Israel has got. I'm not speaking for Israel anyway. I'm not an Israeli, but I'm just to make the
Speaking for them,
No,
in favor of them.
No, but just to take your point. So in
Have you
Israel-
examined the democracy of Israel?
So in Israel, they have about 20 to 25% of the people are Arab, and they have full voting rights, as I understand.
As I understand.
They're pretty much.
But the question is this. Whenever you look at the nature of any apartheid regime, they have some 5 key characteristics. Number 1, they have a history of brutally killing and assassinating people without the right of law. So which means they make themselves lawfully to kill others other than themselves. Secondly, they have a superiority ideology. So we could look at the characteristics, measure it against who the globe has agreed to be apartheid, and then measure that and see whether Israel fit these characteristics. So let us look at the characteristics, the qualities, and the core concepts of an apartheid regime. Apartheid regime has a brutal record of killing men, women, and children indiscriminately, without law, without justice, and without reasons.
That's what happened
and
in South Africa. It was the same
that's
thing.
what happened there, and that's what makes it wrong. Now what happened, the race issue is to block, to shield them. So apartheid, now look at any regime in the world, and anytime they have a track record of brutally slaughtering people as a state without right, without justice, that carries the consequences just as apartheid. The second thing is the all apartheid regime has a superiority ideology. Look at Israel, it has what? What is the ideology of Israel?
They're better than others. This is a fact. It says it in their scripture.
The president says that, talks about the superiority. In their constitution, on their website, they talk about Israel-Jewish superiority. Look at India has the same superiority.
Even that who stands over there.
Who?
Even the bloke who stands over here. He doesn't like Netanyahu. The guy.
Does what?
The guy. Can you not understand me?
No, so I'm not hearing you because somebody back is shouting. Sorry.
The white guy.
Doesn't
The
like
white guy who
Netanyahu.
stands here. He doesn't
The one
like
who said that
Netanyahu.
Israel and
Netanyahu's
Palestine.
he's a criminal internationally, that's why. But shall
He
I say one
doesn't
thing?
like Netanyahu. So
You
what-
mentioned.
he won't quote what Netanyahu
No, he's
said.
against Palestinian. He's against resistance defending their land.
He's
He is-
against Hamas.
No, he's against the PLO. No, he's against the PLO, against Hamas. And then I correct him.
Are you a mother?
No, hold on. Don't, that's a loaded question as well.
Yeah, and those Arabs are not allowed to
Listen,
like Jews.
This is the kind of questions is okay. If you want to ask me the questions, my dear, my sister or my mother, okay, Hamas, okay, they are Palestinian, regardless whether you're not, I agree with them or I don't agree with them. Hamas, they are born in Palestine before the state of Israel. Okay, before the creation of Israel. If you're talking about Hamas now and Hamas before and Hamas forefather, they came from that part of the world. Whether I agree
They
that...
are right. And I don't support them.
No, no,
They
no,
blew-
but
They blew up
no.
people in London.
The way they did it was wrong, but they had a right to defend themselves.
That's wrong.
No, they didn't have
No,
the
no,
right to
no.
kill
What
people.
I'm saying
Kill
is,
people, but
I tell you,
They did kill.
in a lawful
I
way.
tell you something. If the British, if the English, if the British, they went to Ireland, if the British,
Shall we
if the
move?
British-
Shall we move?
No. If the British they went to Ireland, I think the Irish they have the right, to defend themselves, regardless in what form they do it is up to them. Okay,
I
that is.
don't, well, my family are Irish, and I don't think that they
No,
should
if they
have-
come here, okay, and before the places, yeah, they are wrong, okay. But if the Zionists, the Israeli, the Jew Zionists, they go to Palestine, Hamas, they have the right to defend themselves because it's their land. Do Do you understand?
I disagree.
Me and Hamas, they don't. No. Hamas, they didn't. No, the Palestinians, they did not go. No, brother. No, the Palestinians, they did not go to Ukraine or Poland or Argentina or Romania or Hungary. Okay. The Zionists, they went there. They went there and they tried to. That's what it's all about. What other? I mean, what favor does to us? Okay. No, but regardless.